Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Jet. We're back with day 3 of the series of Road to Funded. Today was a really good day in the markets. I'm gonna be quick. I'm still at work. I'm actually waiting for someone to wrap up. So let's go over these trades that I took today. So on the higher time frame, we're very clearly selling off. We're in a bear market. We're in correction territory. As you can see, the way price is selling off, we have no regard to go and really reclaim intermediate or high time frame liquidity. We sweep out intermediate gaps and then we continue lower. And my reason for this is, one, geopolitically, we are, in a lot of uncertainty between the dollar losing its value and just a lot of things. I don't really want to break it down too much. But yeah, the dollar losing its value significantly, inflation posing as a higher tier risk, and whenever inflation is beating the return of the average S&P, we see a lot of fear in the markets, and very clearly we see that fear. Let me take these drawings. We see that we're just continuously selling off without any real retracement. And my biggest reason as to technically why this is happening is because we have these massive weekly and monthly imbalances from our bull run from the middle of last year, and price is now pulling back to that. So if we even clearly draw out the Fibonacci midpoint of this range, you'll see very clearly that we are coming now into the 50%. We're one drawing closer to this, and we have this very obvious imbalance here. And going even onto the monthly time frame, we have that and the monthly balance below that. So I do believe price is gearing to come down here, especially with no positive news in the world coming out that will help pump the markets back up. So with that, my only real trade ideas are bearish. You can trade against the trend, you can trade for longs, but one, you're probably not going to get as much of a move, and it's not as high probability, especially when trend is this obvious. We had times like earlier in the week where price was more uncertain, chopping, moving between a range, but now that we've broken out, we just want lower. So why would I fight that? So coming into the morning, very bearish. I'm actually kind of pissed because in London session, last night, I seen that when I was coming home that we put in this manipulation into this 15-minute gap, and we actually tapped the CE of this fake news wick. So you can see right here, we tapped the 50% of this wick right here. And this is what a rejection block is, guys. We have a massive candle that wicks out internal liquidity, and then price comes and trades, and you can see very clearly that price comes into the 50% level of this wick and it trades lower. So it's basically a resistance point. So what we look for is internally, off of a higher time frame rejection block like this, is we would look for something like a 5-minute IVG for confirmation, because obviously to short this would suck RR wise, unless you're, this is definitely a lot higher probability, but we're going for the smallest risk possible. But this literally would have banked, this would have hit. But what I was trying to do was get a lower time frame entry. So if we go back up here, God, we just sold off so heavy today. If we go to, dude, I'm lost. Sorry, guys. Okay, up here. Up here. So price comes during London session, taps that, and I actually started seeing price around this area here, and I was looking for price to retrace actually right here and look for an inversion. But at this point, price was so choppy and I had to get to bed because I had work in the morning. So I unfortunately missed entry, and my obvious bias was to target all of this sell side liquidity and lower. Like I said, I really want that imbalance, that monthly imbalance. So If I would, I could, and I would swing cons all the way to that monthly imbalance, but yeah, we missed that. So I woke up a bit gutted in the morning, seeing price had sold off like almost 1.5%. But I was still confident that price wanted to continue lower. So opening price actually had a pretty good opportunity right here with this 30-second inversion that formed. We came, let me just put this in replay real quick. Price opened up, swept out this internal liquidity, and then we created a 30-second gap, which I marked out here, and you could have entered short right after price inverse that, stop above that candle, targeted everything here and lower. I mean, you would have banked, but we didn't take that because the RR also wasn't good, but I was on a job for my detailing business at the time. So what did I end up taking? Well, that's a great question. So let me just go off of replay rate quick. So really easy play. We see price aggressively selling off here. We create this massive imbalance. When price has just a continuous sell-off like this and we create imbalances, it's due that price is going to rebalance into the range. Fibonacci level is drawn right here from this high to this internal low. You see that we have the 50% right here. And in that 50% level is where price will continue to sell off. It either comes to the 0.5, the 0.62, or the 0.7. And when price is really aggressively selling off, it'll barely touch the 0.5 and continue lower. So what I look for in this 0.5 is for price to show signs of weakness and create a rejection wick. As you see right here, price pulls back, has this closing wick, creates this area of demand, and within that wick, I mark out the high to the low. In the 50 percentile mark of it, I enter, and as you can see, it creates a really good risk to reward because within that, I'm risking freaking 8 points, and I'm targeting the internal liquidity or external if you'd like. I'm fine with internal at this point. And if this bangs a lot. You've seen my other videos, guys, where these trades are hitting. This is a fucking 12R, guys. So I'm completely fine taking 1, 2, 3, 4 losses in a row because I know I need one trade like this and it's going to make that back times 3, times 4, bro. So yeah, shout out Powell for putting me onto rejection blocks because this shit's changing my life. So yeah, I took that. I took it to internal lows. I was in my car on my phone looking at this, honestly. Also on these Apex accounts, they have a 50% consistency rule. So I didn't want to make too much. That's crazy to say, but I didn't want to make too much. I want to keep my consistency rule decent. And yeah, we banked, made about 1,200 on that on my second PA. And then later in the day, on my main account, let's switch over to M&Q here. You can see obviously a lot of trades going on. First trade I took was this rejection block at 1240. So we created an SMT with ES at this point. Right here, as you can see, ES makes a lower low right here, and NQ makes a higher high. So with that, we created an imbalance right here. I entered off of I literally just entered off of the CE of this. So the fact that we created a rejection block and then we inverted, I believe there was a 15-second. Was it a 15-second? No, not even. What was it that I entered off of? I entered off of the CE of this rejection block. So we create, this is obviously a price point where price came into and rejected. We see that price had again tapped this level and continued. So given that we created an SMT, which is a reversal marker, I entered off of the 50% point. So little bigger risk. I was sized down because I'm just trying to secure this payout, guys. If I haven't gotten any payouts so far in my trading journey, so it doesn't even have to be big wins in my book. I'm going to be a little more aggressive on my second account, but for this one that I've been doing good so far on, I've built some good buffer on. I'm just stacking those base hits so I can get that payout. So yeah, being that we're targeting these internal highs. Trade ran really well. We put in SMT, and then I closed at the trailing stop. This was something that I marked out as a continuation. I didn't actually take this, but this was a logical trade to take short as a continuation as well, because with this SMT, price is selling off. We have this 1 minute gap that inversed, and you could have literally taken that and banged. Price came back into that rejection block, and when you see price selling off like this, you could just exit out. The next trade that I took, because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, in the London session, earlier in the day, I took some shitty plays that I wasn't really proud of. I don't have any of them marked off because the day's already over, so oops. But anyways, as a continuation, this was like the most obvious manipulation leg. One random candle moving 55 points and coming and sweeping out all these intermediate highs. So I really like that. And then when price inversed this 1 minute gap, I simply entered short, very tight stop above that high, above that inversion. Almost got wicked out, but I was simply targeting these swing lows. I wanted to secure just a winning day on the account because I was about break even after this trade. And then I was targeting these intermediate highs and the fib levels, and then I was letting it ride, and I stopped out here, right around here. Yeah, price literally just kept selling off. If I left runners, this is crazy, actually would have banked on those cons, but you know, you can't predict price just continuing to sell off like this. Overall, guys, day 3 of the challenge. Sorry I missed day 2. We're doing really well. Yesterday was about a $900 winning day, and today we profited about $460. So well on our way to our first payout with Apex. And yeah, I'm gonna stay focused this weekend, keep back testing, building discretion, getting data, and keep you guys posted. Have a good weekend, guys. Peace.